The warning lights flashed red across the bridge of the human ship New Seoul. Ambassador Hyunwoo Park stood at the main screen, watching the message play for the third time. The alien voice was cold and mechanical, speaking in perfect human language. The Galactic Council demands the immediate presence of human representatives. You will answer for your crimes against galactic law. Failure to comply will result in severe consequences. Captain Jimin Lee walked up beside the ambassador. Her uniform was crisp and clean, but her face showed worry. Sir, this doesn't feel right. They're not asking us to come. They're ordering us, Hyunwoo nodded slowly. He had been Earth's ambassador to alien worlds for 10 years. He knew when something was wrong. The Galactic Council had never been friendly to humans, but they had always been polite. This message felt different. It felt like a trap. Dr. Kim, what do you think? Hyunwoo called to the third person on the bridge. Dr. Tae-Yang Kim looked up from his computer. He was a scientist who studied alien cultures. His job was to help humans understand how aliens thought and acted. Right now, he looked very concerned. Ambassador, I've been studying the language patterns in this message. The aliens are using words that suggest we've already been found guilty. They're not calling us to a trial. They're calling us to hear our punishment. Captain Lee's hand moved to her weapon. Sir, I recommend we turn around and head back to Earth. This smells like an ambush. Hyunwoo thought for a moment. If they ran away, it would make humans look guilty. But if they went to the council, they might be walking into danger. Still, someone had to represent humanity. Someone had to stand up for their people. We go, he decided. But we go ready for trouble. The New Seoul was not just a diplomatic ship. It was also a warship, built to protect human ambassadors in dangerous situations. Captain Lee made sure all weapons were ready and all shields were charged. Dr. Kim prepared files about human colonies and activities. If the council wanted to accuse humans of crimes, they would need proof. The journey to the council station took 3 days. During that time, more messages came from Earth. Other human colonies were reporting strange alien ship movements. Trade routes were being blocked. Some alien governments that had been friendly to humans were now refusing to answer calls. It's like they're all working together, Dr. Kim said as he read the reports. Every major alien power is acting hostile at the same time. That's not normal. Captain Lee checked her weapons again. How many ships do you think will be waiting for us? Too many, Hyunwoo replied. He had seen the reports too. This was bigger than just the Galactic Council. This was every major alien civilization working together against humanity. When they finally reached the council station, Hyunwoo's fears came true. The station was surrounded by hundreds of alien warships. Ships from the Vorthak Empire hung in space like giant metal spiders. The crystalline hegemony had sent their pyramid-shaped destroyers. Even smaller alien governments had sent ships to watch. They're not here for a trial, Captain Lee said quietly. They're here for a show. The council station itself was huge. It was built like a massive wheel spinning in space. The center was where the council met. The outer rings were where alien diplomats lived and worked. Humans had been to the station before, but never with so many hostile ships around it. As the New Seoul approached the docking bay, alien ships moved to surround them. Captain Lee's crew watched nervously as enemy weapons pointed at their ship. Remember, Hyunwoo told his team, we represent all of humanity today. Whatever happens, we act with honor. The docking bay was cold and dark. Alien guards waited for them as they left their ship. The guards were tall and covered in armor. They carried weapons that could kill a human instantly. They did not speak as they led the human team through the station's corridors. The council chamber was enormous. It was shaped like a bowl with seats rising up in circles around a center stage. Hundreds of alien representatives sat in those seats. They all stared down at the humans as they walked to the center of the room. High Arbiter Veltar floated above the center stage. He was one of the ethereal collective, beings made of pure energy who claimed to be the oldest and wisest species in the galaxy. His voice echoed through the chamber without him opening a mouth. Humans, Veltar began, you stand accused of crimes against galactic order. Hyunwoo stepped forward. What crimes? Humanity has followed all galactic laws. You have expanded too quickly, an alien from the Vorthak Empire hissed. You have built too many colonies. You have armed yourselves too heavily, another alien added. Your military grows stronger every year. Worst of all, Veltar continued, you spread dangerous ideas. Young species look to humans as examples. They begin to think they can rule themselves instead of accepting guidance from their betters. Dr. Kim stepped up beside Hyunwoo. Every human colony was built on empty worlds or worlds where we had permission to settle. We have never attacked another species without cause. We have never enslaved anyone or forced our beliefs on others. The chamber filled with alien voices, all speaking at once. They were angry and loud. But Hyunwoo noticed something strange. The aliens were not debating what humans had done. They were not looking at evidence. They had already decided that humans were guilty. Veltar raised his energy form and the chamber became quiet. The council has decided. Humanity will withdraw from all colonies beyond your home system. You will reduce your military forces by 80%. You will accept council observers who will guide your development and ensure you do not threaten galactic peace again. The words hit Hyunwoo like a physical blow. They wanted to cage humanity like animals. They wanted to control every aspect of human life. This was not justice. This was tyranny. Captain Lee's hand moved to her weapon, but Hyunwoo put a hand on her arm. Violence would not help here. But surrender would not help either. No, Hyunwoo said clearly. The chamber erupted in shocked voices. No species had ever refused a council judgment before. No, Hyunwoo repeated, louder this time. Humanity does not accept your judgment. We have committed no crimes. We will not abandon our people. We will not disarm ourselves. And we will never bow to tyrants, no matter how old they are or how many there are. Veltar's energy form pulsed with anger. Then you choose war. You chose war when you decided to judge us without evidence, Hyunwoo replied. You chose war when you decided that humans do not deserve the same freedoms you give yourselves. We did not start this fight, but we will finish it. The alien representatives were screaming now. Some demanded that the humans be arrested immediately. Others called for human worlds to be attacked. But Hyunwoo stood straight and proud. He had delivered humanity's answer. As the guards moved forward to arrest them, Captain Lee activated a small device on her belt. It sent a coded message back to their ship and then to Earth. The message was simple but important. The Council has chosen war. Humanity's answer is no surrender. The last thing Hyunwoo saw before the guards surrounded them was the look of shock on Veltar's face. The aliens had expected humans to beg or submit. They had not expected defiance, but they were about to learn something important about humans. When backed into a corner, humans do not surrender. They fight. And when they fight harder than anyone expects. The chamber fell silent as the human delegates were led away. But the silence would not last long. Soon the galaxy would echo with the sound of human fury unleashed. The guards threw Hyunwoo and his team into a small room deep inside the council station. The walls were made of some kind of metal that blocked all communication signals. Captain Lee immediately checked her equipment, but nothing worked. They've cut us off completely, she said. I can't contact our ship or Earth. Dr. Kim sat on the floor thinking hard. This was planned from the beginning. They never intended to have a real trial. They just wanted us here so we couldn't warn anyone. Before anyone could respond, the room's door opened. An alien guard entered carrying a small communication device. He placed it on the floor and left without saying a word. The device activated by itself, showing a holographic image of Veltar. Ambassador Park, the High Arbiter's voice filled the room. I thought you should see what happens to species who refuse the Council's wisdom. The image changed to show space above a human colony world. Hyunwoo recognized it immediately. New Busan, home to 3 million humans. The planet was beautiful, with blue oceans and green continents where human families had built new lives. Then the alien ships appeared. Dozens of Vorthak war vessels dropped out of hyperspace around the planet. They were massive black ships that looked like giant insects. Behind them came the crystal ships of the hegemony, their surfaces glowing with deadly energy. No, Captain Lee whispered. They wouldn't attack civilians, but they did. The first energy beams struck New Busan cities without warning. Bright flashes lit up the planet's surface as buildings turned to dust. The Vorthak ships moved closer, firing again and again. Each shot destroyed thousands of homes where families had been living peaceful lives. Dr. Kim covered his face with his hands. They're not even targeting military bases. They're hitting population centers. The hologram showed other human worlds too. New Incheon was under attack by strange ships that fired green beams. Where the beams hit, people didn't die quickly. Instead, they were somehow pulled up into the alien ships. Hyunwoo realized with horror that the aliens were taking humans as prisoners, or worse. On New Daegu, Commander Woo Jin Choi was fighting back with everything he had. His small defense fleet was outnumbered 50-1, but they kept fighting. Human ships darted between the larger alien vessels, firing missiles and energy weapons. They couldn't win, but they were buying time for civilian ships to escape. Commander Choi's voice came through the communication system. He sounded calm even though his ship was taking heavy damage. "This is New Daegu Defense Command to all human forces. We are holding the line as long as possible. Tell Earth that we fought with honor. Tell them to make these aliens pay for every human life they take." His ship exploded in a ball of fire moments later. Hyunwoo felt rage building inside him like a volcano about to erupt. These aliens had not just attacked military targets. They had murdered innocent people, children, families, elderly people who had never hurt anyone, all dead because the Council feared human freedom. 17 colonies, Veltar's voice said with satisfaction, all attacked at the same moment. Your military cannot defend them all. By the time this day ends, millions of humans will be dead. And this is only the beginning. Captain Lee was shaking with anger. You cowards. You attacked defenseless people while hiding behind your council laws. We are bringing order to chaos, Veltar replied. Humanity spreads too quickly, thinks too freely, fights too hard. Other young species see your example and begin to rebel against their proper place in the galaxy. This cannot be allowed. The hologram showed more attacks. Human trade ships were being destroyed by alien pirates who had obviously been given permission to hunt freely. Space stations that served as meeting places for different species were being captured or destroyed if they had human workers. Dr. Kim looked up from his hands. His face was pale, but his eyes were angry. You're not just attacking us. You're attacking anyone who worked with us, anyone who traded with us, anyone who learned from us. Correct, Veltar said. The infection of human ideas must be completely removed. Meanwhile, on the New Sol, engineer Bo-Ra Yoon was working desperately to repair their ship's navigation system. She had discovered that the aliens had not just damaged their equipment. They had installed something that would prevent the ship from leaving the station. Captain Lee told me to fix this no matter what, she muttered to herself as she pulled apart control panels. She said human lives depend on it. Bo-Ra was young but extremely skilled with technology. She had studied alien systems as well as human ones. As she worked, she began to understand how the alien sabotage device worked. It was clever, but it had one weakness. It was designed to stop human ships from escaping, not from sending messages. Working quickly, she rewired part of the communication system. It would only work for a few minutes before the aliens detected it, but that might be enough. Back in their prison, Hyunwoo and his team watched more scenes of destruction. The aliens were not just conquering human worlds, they were destroying them completely. Cities were being turned to glass. Farms were being burned. Even the orbital stations where humans conducted peaceful research were being blown apart. Why? Dr. Kim asked quietly. If they wanted to control us, why destroy everything? This isn't conquest, it's genocide. Veltar's image smiled, which was terrifying to see. Because young species must learn their place. When the Altarians became too independent 3,000 years ago, we destroyed half their worlds. When the Zephyrians began to question council authority, we enslaved their entire population. Humans are not special. You will learn to obey or you will cease to exist. Suddenly, Captain Lee's communication device came to life. Bo-Ra's voice came through, faint but clear. Captain, I've restored partial communications for maybe 3 minutes. I'm getting emergency signals from Earth. The aliens are moving on the Sol system. Massive fleets are approaching Earth itself. Hyunwoo felt his heart stop. Earth. Humanity's birth world, home to 12 billion people. If the aliens attacked Earth with the same brutality they had shown the colonies, it would be the end of the human species. Bo-Ra. Send a message to Earth immediately, Captain Lee ordered. Tell them what we've learned. Tell them the Council planned this from the beginning. Tell them the communication device went dead. Alien security had found and destroyed Bo-Ra's repairs. Veltar's holographic form laughed. Too late, Captain. Even now our fleets approach your precious Earth. Your homeworld will burn just like your colonies. And when it is over, the few humans we allow to survive will serve the Council as slaves, never again to threaten galactic order. But Hyunwoo was not defeated. Even trapped in this room watching his people die, he felt something growing inside him that the aliens had not expected. It was not fear or despair. It was pure, cold anger. You made one mistake, he told Veltar. And what is that? You think you understand humans. You think we'll surrender when faced with overwhelming force. You think we'll beg for mercy when our families are threatened. Hyunwoo stood up, his voice getting stronger. But you don't understand us at all. The High Arbiter's image flickered with annoyance. Explain. Humans don't surrender when we're cornered. We fight harder. Humans don't beg when our families are threatened. We become dangerous. And humans don't forget when innocent people are murdered. We get even. Captain Lee and Dr. Kim stood up beside their ambassador. All three humans faced the holographic alien with defiance instead of fear. You wanted to see human aggression? Hyunwoo continued. You wanted to know why the Council fears us? You're about to find out. Because somewhere out there, other humans are watching their colonies burn. They're seeing their friends and families die. And they're learning exactly what kind of enemies you really are. Veltar's image began to fade. Brave words from a species about to become extinct. As the hologram disappeared, the three humans were left alone in their prison. But they were not hopeless. They knew their people. They knew that somewhere in the galaxy, humanity was about to show these ancient aliens what real fury looked like. Earth might be in danger, but Earth was not defenseless. And when humans fought for their survival, they fought with a determination that could shake the stars themselves. The emergency alarm echoed through the halls of the United Earth Government building in Geneva. President Yoon Ji-seo ran down the corridor, her security team struggling to keep up. She had been in a peaceful meeting about trade agreements when the first reports came in. Now 17 human colonies were under attack and alien fleets were heading toward Earth itself. The emergency council room was already full when she arrived. Military leaders, scientists, and government officials from around the world were gathered around a massive holographic display showing the galaxy. Red dots marked the colonies under attack. Larger red shapes showed the alien fleets moving toward Earth. How long do we have? President Seo asked immediately. Admiral Sung Ho Han of Earth's unified fleet looked grim. Their fastest ships will reach Earth in 6 hours. The main battle fleets will arrive in 12 hours. How many ships are we facing? Over 3,000 confirmed. Maybe more. Admiral Han's voice was steady, but everyone could hear the concern. Ma'am, this is more firepower than we've ever seen in one place. Every major alien civilization has sent their best warships. General Park from the Earth Defense Force stepped forward. We have 400 ships ready for battle, plus the orbital defense platforms. We can make them pay for every mile, but he didn't need to finish. Everyone understood. Earth's military was strong, but not strong enough to face the combined fleets of dozens of alien empires. President Seo looked around the room at the worried faces. These were good people who had spent their lives protecting humanity. But today all their normal plans and strategies seemed useless against such overwhelming odds. There's something else, Admiral Han said quietly. We've lost contact with Ambassador Park's ship. Intelligence suggests the Galactic Council has them prisoner. The room fell silent. Not only were they facing an invasion, but their diplomatic team was captured or worse. For a moment it seemed like humanity had no options left. Then a door at the back of the room opened. Dr. Young Sik Nam entered, followed by several people in military uniforms that no one recognized. Dr. Nam was old, maybe 70 years, with gray hair and tired eyes, but those eyes were sharp and intelligent. Dr. Nam, President Seo was surprised. She knew him as a scientist who worked on peaceful space technology. What are you doing here? Madam President, I need to tell you about Protocol 7. Many people in the room looked confused. Protocol 7 was not something most of them had heard about. But Admiral Han's eyes went wide. The Prometheus Project, he whispered. Dr. Nam nodded. For the past 20 years, a small group of us have been preparing for exactly this situation. We knew that someday the older alien civilizations might see humanity as a threat. We knew they might try to destroy us before we became too powerful. He walked to the holographic display and pressed some buttons. The image changed to show hidden locations throughout human space. Secret shipyards, hidden weapon platforms, classified research stations. While our public military focused on exploration and defense, we built something else in secret. We built weapons designed for one purpose: to make our enemies regret ever threatening humanity. President Seo stared at the display. How did you hide all this? How did you fund it? Very carefully, Dr. Nam replied. Every time we built a civilian space station, We also built a hidden military facility nearby. Every time we sent out exploration ships, some of them were actually carrying secret weapons. For 20 years, we've been preparing for war while hoping we would never need to fight. One of the military officers with Dr. Nam stepped forward. She was young, maybe 30 years old, with the confident bearing of someone used to command. Her uniform was black with silver markings that no one in the room recognized. President Seo, I'm Captain Sujin Park, daughter of Ambassador Park. I command the dreadnought Indomitable Spirit. Admiral Han looked shocked. Captain, I've never heard of that ship or that rank structure. Because we didn't exist officially until today, Captain Park replied. The Indomitable Spirit is the flagship of the Rage Fleet. We have been hidden in the Titan shipyards waiting for the day when humanity needed us. Dr. Nam activated another part of the display. It showed ship designs unlike anything the regular military had seen. These were not exploration vessels or even normal warships. These ships were built to look intimidating and to fight with devastating efficiency. The aliens have been watching our public military for decades, Dr. Nam explained. They think they know our capabilities. They think they know how we fight. They are wrong. President Seo felt hope beginning to grow inside her. How many ships do you have? 200 ships in the Rage Fleet, Captain Park answered, plus another 300 hidden throughout human space. But more important than numbers is what these ships can do. She pressed a button and the display showed weapon systems that made the regular military gasp. Energy cannons that could punch through any known armor. Missile systems that could track targets across entire star systems. Shield technology that had never been seen before. We also have other advantages, Dr. Nam continued. Quantum communication systems that can't be jammed or intercepted. Steeper technology that's 30 years ahead of what the aliens have seen. And most importantly, we have something they don't expect. What's that? President Seo asked. Anger, Captain Park said simply. These ships and their crews were trained for one mission, to protect humanity when everything else fails. We've watched the colony attacks. We've seen our people die. We're not here to have a fair fight. We're here to make sure our enemies never threaten humanity again. Admiral Han was studying the ship specifications with amazement. These weapons, they're not designed for defense or even normal warfare. They're designed for revenge. Exactly, Dr. Nam nodded. The aliens want to destroy us because they fear we might become a threat. Today we're going to prove their fears were justified. Suddenly alarms began ringing throughout the building. A technician called out from his station. Ma'am, we're detecting alien ships dropping out of hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. The attack has begun. President Seo felt the weight of history on her shoulders. In the next few hours, humanity would either survive this attack or face extinction. But now she knew they had options nobody expected. Dr. Nam, activate Protocol 7. Captain Park, launch the Rage Fleet. Yes, ma'am, both officers replied. As they prepared to leave, President Seo called out to Captain Park. Captain, your father is trapped on the Galactic Council station. We don't know if he's alive? Captain Park's face became hard as stone. Then we'll find out. And if they've harmed him, the Council will learn what happens when you hurt a human's family. Within minutes, secret facilities throughout the solar system came alive. Hidden doors opened in asteroids, revealing weapon platforms that had been disguised as mining equipment. Ships that looked like civilian transport suddenly activated military-grade engines and weapons. The Titan shipyards, hidden behind Neptune's largest moon, revealed their secret. Massive doors opened in what appeared to be empty space, and the ships of the Rage Fleet emerged. They were beautiful and terrifying, sleek black vessels with silver markings built for speed and destruction. Captain Park stood on the bridge of the Indomitable Spirit as her ship cleared the hidden shipyard. Around her, nearly 200 other ships of the Rage Fleet took their positions. All ships, this is Captain Park, she announced over the fleet communication system. Today, the aliens learn why they should have left humanity alone. Today, we show them that when you threaten human families, you face human fury. Today, we make them pay. The Rage Fleet accelerated toward the approaching alien armada. For decades, the galaxy had wondered what would happen if humanity was truly threatened. Now they were about to find out. In space stations throughout human territory, other secret forces were activating. Special operations teams that had trained for 20 years were preparing for missions the aliens couldn't imagine. Hidden weapon systems were powering up. Communication networks that the aliens couldn't detect were carrying orders across the galaxy. The trap was ready. The aliens thought they were attacking a helpless species. Instead, they were about to face the full fury of humanity unleashed. The alien fleet commanders felt confident as they approached Earth. Admiral Zektar of the Vorthak Empire stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the blue planet grow larger on his screen. In 300 years of conquest, he had never seen a species fight back effectively once the Council decided to destroy them. "How many human ships are defending their home world?" he asked his tactical officer. "Sensors show approximately 400 vessels, Admiral, mostly small patrol ships and medium cruisers. Nothing that should trouble our battle fleet." Admiral Zektar made a sound that might have been laughter. 400 ships against 3,000. The humans will surrender once they see how hopeless their situation is. But something was wrong with the sensor readings. Ships were appearing that had not been there moments before. First dozens, then hundreds of vessels seemed to materialize from empty space around Earth's outer planets. "Sir," the tactical officer said nervously, "I'm reading massive energy signatures. These are not the same human ships we detected before." On the main screen, the alien fleet could see them now. Sleek black ships with silver markings moving with deadly precision. They were smaller than the massive alien dreadnoughts. But something about the way they moved made experienced warriors nervous. Admiral Zektar was about to order his fleet to attack when space around the alien ships suddenly exploded into light. Hidden weapon platforms that had been disguised as asteroids and space debris were firing. Energy beams and missiles came from directions that sensors had shown as empty space. "Ambush!" someone screamed across the alien communication channels. The humans had turned their own solar system into a trap. Every piece of space junk, every asteroid, every seemingly innocent satellite was actually a hidden weapon. The alien fleet found themselves under devastating fire from all directions. But the real shock came when the human ships began to fight back. These were not the defensive patrol boats the aliens had expected. These ships moved like hunters, striking fast and hard before disappearing back into space. Captain Sujin Park watched the battle from the bridge of the Indomitable Spirit. Her ship's weapons were more advanced than anything the aliens had seen from humans before. Where alien ships expected to face simple energy beams, they instead met weapons that could punch through their strongest armor like paper. "Target the Vorthak command ship," she ordered. "Let's show them what happens when you attack innocent people." The Indomitable Spirit and 5 other ships from the Rage Fleet moved toward Admiral Zektar's flagship. The alien ship was 10 times larger than any of the human vessels, but size did not matter when the enemy had better weapons and more skill. Human missiles struck the alien flagship from multiple directions. These were not normal missiles. They were guided by artificial intelligence that could think and adapt during flight. When the alien ship's defenses shot down some missiles, others changed course and found new weak points. "Impossible," Admiral Zektar muttered as his ship's armor began to fail. "How do the humans have such advanced weapons?" The answer came in the form of more human ships appearing throughout the battle. These were not just better armed than expected. They were using technology that seemed decades ahead of what humans should possess. Captain Park opened communication channels to the entire alien fleet. Her voice was cold and clear as space itself. "This is Captain Park of the Human Rage Fleet. You came here to destroy our home and murder our families. You thought we were weak and defenseless. You were wrong." As she spoke, more human ships continued their devastating attacks. The aliens had brought 3,000 ships expecting an easy victory. Instead, they found themselves fighting for their lives against an enemy that seemed to know exactly how they would attack. Far across the galaxy, other human forces were beginning their own missions. Lieutenant Minho Kang stood in the cargo bay of a stealth ship approaching the Vorthak military command station. He and his team had been training for this mission for 5 years. "Remember," he told his soldiers, "these are the same aliens who destroyed New Busan. Every civilian who died there deserves justice. We're here to deliver it." The Vorthak command station was supposed to be impossible to attack. It was defended by hundreds of automated weapon systems and had armor that could withstand the explosion of a small star. But the humans were not planning a normal attack. Minho's team used technology that the aliens did not expect. Personal shield generators made them invisible to most sensors. Cutting tools could slice through alien metal like butter. Most importantly, they had studied Vorthak psychology and knew exactly how to cause maximum confusion. Instead of attacking the station's weapons or engines, They went after the communication systems and life support. Within an hour, the most important military base in the Vorthak Empire was blind, deaf, and slowly suffocating. The attack was brutal and precise. The humans did not just destroy the station, they made sure every alien inside knew they were going to die and why. When the Vorthak commanders tried to surrender, Minho's response was simple. You didn't accept surrender from the civilians on New Busan. We don't accept surrender from you. Meanwhile, in the asteroid fields of the Kepler system, the crystalline hegemony was learning their own lesson about human fury. The crystal ships that had destroyed human colonies found themselves being hunted by Commander Hwan Yu and her Ghost battalion. The aliens had expected humans to fight like other species, with large fleets meeting in open space for dramatic battles. Instead, the humans fought like predators hunting prey. Commander Yu's ships would appear from behind asteroids, strike hard at enemy vessels, then disappear before the aliens could respond. One by one, crystal ships began to vanish. Their crews would send desperate messages for help, then go silent forever. Where are they? Admiral Krith of the Crystal Fleet demanded. Our sensors show nothing, but our ships keep disappearing. The answer came when Commander Yu finally revealed herself. Her ship, the Silent Fury, emerged from what appeared to be empty space right next to the Crystal flagship. The aliens realized with horror that the humans had been hiding among the asteroids, using advanced stealth technology to become invisible. This is Commander Yu. Her voice came over the alien communication channels. Your ships participated in the massacre of innocent humans. Now you pay the price. The Silent Fury was much smaller than the Crystal flagship, but it carried weapons designed specifically to destroy crystal-based technology, energy beams that resonated at the exact frequency needed to shatter crystal armor, missiles that could track the unique energy signatures of crystal ships. The alien flagship broke apart like glass hitting concrete. Back in the Sol system, the battle was turning into a disaster for the alien forces. What should have been an easy conquest had become a nightmare. Human ships seemed to be everywhere, appearing and disappearing like ghosts. Their weapons were far more advanced than intelligence had suggested. Most terrifying of all, they fought with a fury that the aliens had never experienced. Captain Park received reports from across the galaxy as human forces struck back at their enemies. The Vorthak command network was destroyed. Crystal fleets were being hunted to extinction in the asteroid fields. Alien bases that had launched attacks on human colonies were burning. Sir, her communications officer reported, we're receiving surrender offers from several alien fleets. Denied, Captain Park replied without hesitation. They wanted to see human aggression. They wanted to know what we're capable of when our families are threatened. They're going to learn. Admiral Zektar's flagship was dying around him. Half his fleet was already destroyed, and the human ships showed no signs of slowing down. These were not the peaceful explorers his intelligence had described. These were warriors who fought with cold, calculated rage. Send a message to the Council, he ordered with his last breath. Tell them the humans are not what we thought. Tell them we have awakened something terrible, but it was too late for warnings. Across the galaxy, humanity was showing exactly what happened when someone crossed the line. The aliens had wanted to destroy human civilization. Instead, they had unleashed human fury upon the stars, and the humans were just getting started. 6 months had passed since the Galactic Council's attack on humanity. The galaxy was a very different place now, where once the ancient council station had floated in space as a symbol of alien power. Now only burned metal remained. The chambers where High Arbiter Veltar had pronounced humanity's death sentence were silent forever. Captain Sujin Park stood on the observation deck of the new space station orbiting the planet Haven. This world had been chosen as neutral ground for the new galactic government. Through the large windows, she could see ships from dozens of different species coming and going peacefully. Hard to believe it's only been 6 months, said Dr. Taeyang Kim as he joined her at the window. He looked older now, but his eyes were brighter. The months of war had been terrible, but the peace that followed had given him hope for the future. The galaxy changes quickly when people are finally free to choose their own path, Captain Park replied. She wore a new uniform now, not the black and silver of the Rage Fleet, but the blue and gold of the Galactic Assembly Defense Force. Behind them, the Great Hall of the new Galactic Assembly was preparing for an important ceremony. Representatives from over 200 species were gathering to sign the Sol Accords. the new laws that would govern how species treated each other. Ambassador Hyunwoo Park entered the observation area, looking tired but satisfied. He had spent the past months working 18 hours a day to help build this new government. After being rescued from the destroyed council station, he had thrown himself into the work of creating something better from the ashes of the old system. The Vorthak delegation just arrived, he told his daughter. Even they're ready to sign the accords. Captain Park looked surprised. After everything they did? After New Busan? They don't have much choice, Dr. Kim explained. Half their empire joined the rebellion when they learned the truth about the council. The other half surrendered when they realized they couldn't win a war against humanity and our allies. The truth was that the galaxy had been waiting for someone to stand up to the council for thousands of years. When humanity refused to surrender and then proved they could fight back effectively, species across the stars had begun their own rebellions. The Kepler Mining Consortium had been the first to switch sides, openly declaring their support for human ideals of freedom and self-determination. The Free Traders Alliance had followed, tired of the Council's restrictions on trade between species. Even ancient civilizations like the Altarian Republic had remembered their own struggles against Council oppression and joined the growing resistance. The signing ceremony will begin soon, Ambassador Park said. Are you ready for this? Captain Park nodded. Today, she would officially become the first human to command a galactic defense force. Her job would be to make sure that what happened to humanity never happened to any other species. In the Great Hall, beings from across the galaxy took their seats. Some were humanoid. Others looked like insects or crystals or pure energy. Many of these species had been enemies just months ago. Now they were working together to build something better. President Yoon Ji-seo walked to the central podium. She had aged during the war, but her voice was strong and clear as she addressed the assembly. 6 months ago, the old Galactic Council tried to destroy humanity because they feared our ideas of freedom. They failed. But we did not fight just to save ourselves. We fought to save the idea that every species has the right to choose its own future. She gestured to the large document displayed on screens throughout the hall. The Soul Accords were written in dozens of languages, but the meaning was the same in all of them. These accords established simple rules. No species may attack civilian populations. No government may claim authority over another species' internal affairs. Every sentient being has the right to life, liberty, and self-determination. And any species that violates these rights will face the combined response of all free peoples. One by one, the representatives came forward to sign. The Altarian delegate, representing a people who had fought council oppression for centuries, signed with tears in her eyes. The Zephyrian ambassador, whose people had been enslaved by the old system, signed with shaking hands. Even former enemies added their names to the document. The surviving Vorthak leaders, the Crystal Hegemony representatives, and delegates from a dozen other species that had attacked humanity now pledged to follow the new laws. Dr. Kim watched from the audience as history was made. As a scientist who studied alien cultures, he understood how remarkable this moment was. Never before had so many species agreed to limit their own power for the greater good. After the signing ceremony, Captain Park walked through the corridors of the new station. She stopped at a memorial wall that honored those who had died in the war. The names of every human colonist killed in the initial attacks were carved into black stone, but alongside them were the names of aliens who had died fighting for freedom, rebels who had risen up against their own oppressive governments. They didn't die for nothing, she said quietly. No, they didn't, said a voice behind her. She turned to see Admiral Sung-Ho Han, who now served as military advisor to the assembly. The reports from the Outer Rim are encouraging, he continued. Species that were kept isolated by the Council are finally making contact with each other. Trade routes that were forbidden for centuries are opening up. The University of New Seoul has received applications from young people of 40 different species. Captain Park smiled at that. The University on New Seoul had been rebuilt after the war, bigger and better than before. Dr. Kim now served as its director, teaching students from across the galaxy about cooperation and understanding between species. What about the enforcement missions? She asked. Going well. Last week, we stopped a slave trading operation in the Outer Spiral. The week before, we helped the Tausidians establish their own government, free from their former rulers. It's working, Captain. The galaxy is becoming a better place. As they talked, news reports played on screens throughout the station. Human and alien reporters working together covered stories from across the galaxy, a new trade agreement between former enemies, a joint scientific mission to explore unknown regions of space, young aliens studying at human universities and young humans learning from alien teachers. But the most important news was about the hidden bases scattered throughout human space. The secret weapons and ships that had saved humanity from extinction were being converted to peaceful purposes. Hidden shipyards now built exploration vessels. Secret research stations developed technologies to help rebuild damaged worlds. The Rage Fleet still existed, but its mission had changed. Instead of hunting enemies, they now protected the weak and enforced the Sol Accords. Captain Park's ship, the Indomitable Spirit, led missions to help species establish their own governments and defend themselves from those who would oppress them. As the day ended, Captain Park returned to her quarters on the station. On her desk was a letter from the rebuilt colony of New Busan. The families who had survived the attack, along with new colonists from Earth, were building something beautiful from the ashes of destruction. "We have not forgotten those who died," the letter read, "but we choose to build rather than mourn. The children here learn about the war, but they also learn about the peace that followed. They study both human and alien languages. They play games that children from a dozen worlds enjoy. They are growing up in the galaxy we fought to create." Captain Park looked out her window at the stars. Somewhere out there, the galaxy was vast and full of wonders yet to be discovered. There would always be new challenges, new conflicts to resolve, new species to welcome into the community of free peoples. But humanity had proven something important in those terrible months of war. When backed into a corner, humans didn't just fight for survival, they fought for ideals. They had turned their rage into justice, their fury into freedom. The galaxy was no longer ruled by ancient powers who demanded obedience. It was guided by principles that every species could understand: freedom, justice, and the right to choose one's own destiny. And if anyone ever tried to take those rights away again, they would face not just humanity's wrath, but the combined fury of every free species in the galaxy. The stars themselves seemed brighter now, filled with hope instead of fear.